Yo, what's going on, man? It's your dude Superb. On this week's episode of MC2MC, we got a special guest, Shawney Rainne. We talk a little bit about her musical upbringing here in the Nashville scene. Very interesting story. We talk a little bit about her event company, EBCM Nash, and modeling. And, we bounce a little over the place. We talk a little bit about Ludacris being in town, Lil Jon. We have a little fun with this one. So, yeah, just follow along, tune in. We're going to go a little all over the place, but it'll make sense in the end. So, catch you guys. All right, yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your dude Superb.
Oh, Tom.
And, we got a special guest, Shawney Rainne, coming on the show today on this week's episode of MC2MC.
Hi.
Hope everybody's doing good who's tuning into this episode. So, a little bit of a long night last night. Shouts out EJ the Maker, Sergio's Backpack,
Saucy Slim.
We're forgetting the guy. We're forgetting the first guy. Delta Fish. Is it Delta Fish? Delta Fish.
Trez. He played.
Oh yeah, Trez did do some stuff last night. I forgot. Trez popped in, did a song. He did a song, dude.
Crowd surfed for like 5 minutes and then he was out.
Got some photos.
I feel like he needed that.
Yeah.
Turned out a success. I'm gonna just let y'all know, man. Like EJ, Serge, bro. Like, we're not too much older, but we're a little older, bro. We can't be going to no damn shows that start at 11 o'clock at night, bro. Like, y'all gonna have to come with something a little earlier, bro. Like, that show should have been starting at like 8. Then y'all talking about after the show ended, y'all had an after party at 2 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, nah, man. I can't be doing all that no more, bro. Like, the after party should have came like at like 10 or 11 or something, bro. Like, maybe I could have hanged, bro. But love you guys. That was fun.
It was a blast. It was
You should have
insane.
came to my show last night. It ended at 11.
Oh,
that's
a great.
Started at
ending.
I would have been in
7:30.
bed. I would have been well
7:45
rested.
-ish.
I was up till
Yes.
like 5. It's insane.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
But yeah, you did have an event.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Last
usually
night.
we go till 1
Yes.
a.m. But last night we ended at 11.
Yeah.
Good time.
That's an appropriate.
Yeah, you do too many shows where you're ending at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and you're like, all right, we're just going to sneak like an 11 p.m. one in there.
Gotta sneak that in. Nice early
Yeah.
time. I like that time.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Dylan was actually there. Shouts out Dylan. So what was it? Was it like an event mixer kind of thing?
Yeah,
Like,
so it's a live music showcase.
Yeah.
So we bring out different artists with different genres, and we just kind of give them the stage to do their thing for about 20, 30-minute sets.
And it was at home.
Yeah, it's at home studio in East
Love
Nashville.
home.
Yeah, it was our first time there. Usually we're in Germantown.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
That's where we were.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Which venue?
it's called The Crown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Familiar?
Yeah,
yeah.
Magic. It's
Um,
his venue, right? Magic.
I don't know.
don't really
No,
know.
the lady's name was Autumn.
That's his wife.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
okay.
but-
Yeah, I think we heard something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, Crown off of 9th.
Yeah.
Cool place. That was my first time there
Yeah.
last night, but yeah, turned out great. Let's get to the guest. Let's get to the guest. Shawney.
And me?
So yes, you. So Joseph, we were talking about Joseph Bosley earlier. He kind of pieced the connection.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to know a little bit more about these events you throw. So EBCM Nashville.
Yeah, so EBCM is an acronym for Everything But Country Music. And we have nothing against country music. I just want to start off by saying that we just realized that there's a lot of country music here and a lot of opportunity for country music artists.
That's true.
And so what we're trying to do is bridge that gap. And so we create opportunities for creatives in Music City. So we do poetry nights, dance classes, music showcases, festivals, concerts, pretty much anything that we can put together that's going to really highlight and showcase like different creatives and artists. And
I saw something about the class. You know what I'm saying? I saw like a
twerk class?
Monday night
Monday
twerk
night-
class. Yeah, the Monday night
twerk
twerk
class.
class.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Every Monday night, 7:15 to 8:15 at Construct Dance Studio. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. If y'all want to come, get your twerk on.
The guys come to the class.
Sometimes.
I feel like
I really want some guys to come. So I've had about 3 or 4 men come through.
I'm down for
but they
camera
usually-
work.
I wouldn't want to do that
Yeah.
to anyone there.
That's what everybody says. Everyone's like, I'm down for camera work. I'm like, no.
Like, yeah, you know, it's like, you know, I mean, you can see my reasoning.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
get
know.
it. I get it. But if you want to come through with the camera, I'm not going to say no.
You know, nice content.
Not going to say no.
Nice content. People learn some nice dance
Mm-hmm.
moves.
I would definitely need a class because, you know, I guess I've
Yeah.
never had to twerk, but
Never had to shake that booty before,
Yeah.
huh, bro.
yeah.
You know, yeah.
Hey,
But,
but when you
I need to be educated, you know?
yeah, but then there might be a time and
Mm-hmm.
place where you're going to have to twerk, and this class is going to prepare you for
Yeah.
that.
It's like you have to twerk to
Right
get
now.
this bomb defused. And it's like, no.
First, exactly.
First time
yes.
for everything.
Yeah.
We can prepare you.
So, how long has EBCM Nashville existed?
So I started it in April of this year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so this is a recent thing.
Yeah, so I kind of had the idea during COVID because I'm an artist myself, and
Mm-hmm.
I was really diving into the community here, and I realized there wasn't a lot of opportunities. Like,
Yeah.
there are opportunities, but not a lot and not
Mm-hmm.
enough. And I wanted to be a part of building a community that kind of supported
Yeah.
creatives and people in the industry that I kind of like pushed to the side a little bit in Music City. You know
Mm-hmm. I feel
what I mean?
what you're saying. Yeah.
But yeah, we started in April, and because that's kind of when things let up a little bit with the restrictions. And then we've been going every month since with the showcases. We did a festival in July. We did Live on the Cumberland at Cumberland Park. And then we've been doing poetry nights every month and dance classes.
Ooh.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
awesome.
And we're going to do a fashion show in September.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's about-
Repent
yeah,
drink.
yeah. That's tight. That's tight. Little
Yeah.
that- oh, nice little spiritual energy going on.
Yes.
right
Well,
now,
we
yeah.
have a big umbrella because we're not just about, live music. We're about just creatives in general.
Yeah.
So I say we really just want to build up things that expose culture because there's a lot of country culture here.
I get what you're
And
saying.
And that
I
gets
want-
plenty
get it.
And
of
that
exposure.
gets so much
like,
exposure. Yeah.
No hate to y'all once again, because it might sound a little bashy.
Right. I try not
not.
to offend anyone. That's why I started with saying I
Yeah,
have
yeah,
nothing
yeah.
against country music.
Yeah,
I
just-
promise.
No hate, no hate.
It gets plenty of shine, though.
Yeah, it really
Yeah, it
does.
does,
it
It
does.
really does.
Yeah.
There's plenty. I agree. I think that's kind of like the problem, because I've talked to just random people, like their thoughts on it. There's not really a lot of like venues for other kinds of genres of music and
Exactly.
things like that. We don't really have any like funk or like R&B clubs or anything that I really know about. Although
Not consistently.
Yeah,
You know
not
what I mean?
consistently,
It might
yeah.
pop up every now and then, but
Yeah.
it's not like. Oh,
But it's not
this
like
is
a
where you-
spot, yeah,
Exactly.
like, you know what I'm saying? You got all kinds of spots for, country music, the Ryman, Grand Ole Opry.
Everything.
Everything.
downtown. Yeah.
All the, yeah, there's no point in
Yeah.
even
All
naming
of
them.
Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of Broadway. I
Yeah.
don't perform on Broadway for that reason, and I'll sing at the Moxie because they're like, do whatever you want. I'm
Yeah.
like, cool. But Broadway has like a list of songs that you're allowed to do, and everybody wants
Yes.
to hear country music, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, they force
don't
you to like
wanna-
do country classics and
Yes.
stuff. They force you, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not really about being like forced to like sing a
Yeah,
genre.
no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a creative, as an artist, that just like kills my soul a little
Yeah,
I feel
bit.
you.
You know?
And I feel like if there's just like one place that didn't do that, it would
do well.
do very well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Because like when you walk down Broadway, I mean, you hear all the music from the different places, and it's literally just like the same songs
Yeah.
over and over again.
Yeah,
And
the
it's
same
kinda-
It
exact
is.
songs.
Yeah.
Maybe
And the
with
same
like,
voices too.
Yeah.
They all kind of sound
Yeah.
similar.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, that's kind of the thing with like Broadway. That's the interesting part. It's like, all right, when are y'all gonna like make some kind of like change? Like,
Well, it's working for them.
Yeah.
So probably never.
I mean, probably never. But what I mean by that is like, I feel like there should be a way to maintain that country culture while like experimenting with like some new things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Like, I feel like first and foremost.
But I feel like there's a deeper issue there that we're probably not going to get into today.
Yeah, probably. There is a deeper issue. There's a deeper issue. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we just shouldn't
like,
go there. Maybe we shouldn't just
Yeah.
go to
I think
that.
it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
What the issue is. Yeah. Shouts out Broadway. But yeah. So yeah, I've seen you work with a couple people that we know and don't work with. I saw on the last showcase you had, it was like all women. Or that was a couple months ago. I think.
Yeah. So I did a all-female lineup, I believe, in June.
Yeah, I know. So Lord Goldie was on there.
Yes.
Love Goldie.
Yeah,
Shouts out Goldie.
same.
Shouts out Goldie.
Yes.
Yours truly, Jay.
Yes.
Love Jay.
Did music video with her, some work with her. Shouts out Jay. So how have you ran into these musical connections? You know, just through like shows and your artistry.
So the first event, I spent a lot of time stalking people on Instagram, and that's
What's stalking?
So I would
down.
through the hashtag search,
Okay.
I would try to find certain types of artists, and then I would hit them up to see if they wanted to perform.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I kind of had to get started. And then I also posted on Facebook several pages saying, hey, I'm looking for artists that don't do country music. And I had about 100 people submit. Not a lot of them were very good. But I didn't go through all 100 because at one point I'm like, okay, this is going to take way too long. But I found
that
artists,
also shows, like 100 responses, that shows that there is a
huge
ton of
demand.
people. Yeah.
Our first showcase sold over 200 tickets.
Really?
Yes, and that just showed me in April, and that showed me that people were actually tired of just having country options, and just by the name, like everything but country music, I think it made people stop and be like, oh, I want to check this out, you know. But I had to kind of spend a lot of time searching for artists and listening to their music, seeing if they had any type of like fan base locally. And then after the first showcase, people reached out to me. So I have a pretty long list of artists now that I'm trying to book in the future. And so I'm not looking for artists as much anymore. And I'm trying to get through the list that I already have that I think,
That's interesting because I was looking through your story last night, and the mixer you threw in the event. It was it was a good variety of sounds in there. It kind of had sounded like some kind of there was some rap going on. I think like some pop, kind of like some funky. Some girl had this little funky thing going. I don't know which artist it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good variety to these shows.
I try to do that. I try to not stick to just one genre.
Yeah.
I try to incorporate at least 3 per showcase or per event. And I don't want them to be too different. Like I don't want it to be like Americana and then like hip hop. Yeah. Because that's weird.
Yeah.
But I try to kind of make a variety so that way people are entertained throughout the whole event. Yeah. Just because I know how I am and I get bored easily. You know, and when I'm at an event, I'm kind of wanting to continue to be entertained, you know, and so I'm very aware of that when I'm putting a show together. And what helps is when people don't know what to expect.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's almost like, it's kind of risky, if you hear what I'm saying.
It is.
Because it's like,
you have to be strategic about it. Yeah. You can't do like a hip hop artist and then somebody who's gonna put the crowd to sleep. Yeah. You know what I mean? So what I try to do is I try to start with maybe the more like soulful artists in the beginning, just because the energy isn't going to be quite as high. Yeah. You know, and then I try to build the momentum as the show goes.
Interesting.
Yeah, which definitely usually works.
That's curating at its finest. Yeah. Interesting. There's a couple other things I saw when I was looking through. I saw that. Did you say you're a published model in like a post, or is that you're a published model?
Yeah.
So how's it? So
okay. Very recently. Yeah.
How did that happen there? What's up with that? What's that story?
Also during COVID, one of my friends was like, "You should just try getting into modeling." Yeah. And I was like, I mean, what else am I going to do with my life? And so I started doing some trade for print shoots. And I did them pretty frequently, and then I started really enjoying them, like having fun, just like getting creative. And so some of the photographers I had been working with started submitting our photos to be published, and so I had 3 photos published this past summer.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really dope. Thank
that.
you.
Interesting. So, like with that, is that kind of like something with the modeling thing? Would you like eventually like to like get on an agency or something, or just?
No, that's like a hobby.
Yeah.
It's something I do to kind of stay on the creative side of things. It's really fun to kind of piece together photo shoots and like create, and it's kind of a release for me. So if someone asks like, "What do you do for fun?" I would say that would be part of the like fun time.
Hobbies. You know, we were talking about that the other day. We were like, because it's the hobby question is such a weird one. Because it's like people are like, "Yo, what's your hobby?" And I'm like, I don't know, bro. I don't have no hobbies. It's just what I do, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I usually say that too. I'm like, oh, I don't really have any hobbies. But then I realize that like things that I'm doing that aren't really growing, like I'm not putting that like intention behind like growing it, that would be a hobby.
Like the hobby.
Yeah.
That's a good, but that's like a perspective you have to have. That's why I'm like, it was eye-opening hearing you just say that right now. 'Cause it's like, no, like, yeah, you don't really care to have the agency or anything like that. It's just like, no, you got some published shots, things like that. That's cool. Like, we can continue to do that, but no, that's kind of like the extent of that. And that's my hobby.
Exactly, yeah. I have no interest in like growing it because that's a whole nother industry, and I don't have time for that, you know. Yeah.
So artistry, how long have you been doing artistry? I know you were telling me the whole, I don't know, do you want to go into that? The whole situation. I know you're saying some of the tracks and things.
Oh, I was like, wait, what situation?
No, no, just what you're telling me with the management and stuff like that. I don't know how deeply you want to talk
so I have been I have an interesting story, I guess. So I'm going to just try to summarize because I don't really know where to start.
Yeah, go ahead, go.
But I've always wanted to be an artist, and so I grew up with a very strict upbringing, and so my parents wouldn't let us listen to music. We didn't have a TV in our house. We didn't have computers, and I grew up on a farm, and so it was just like I feel like I was just very detached from the world.
Amish. Almost.
I feel like we were borderline. We weren't. We were Baptist. Yeah. My dad's a pastor. But I felt like if there was some we had electricity, you know what I mean? But I feel like if you're going to compare.
It's like borderline. Yeah.
Right, borderline, very borderline. And so I've always been passionate about creating. I started writing at a really young age. It was like my way of like expressing, and like it was very therapeutic for me because I was really like in my head, and I was a very sensitive and emotional child, and in an environment where you're not allowed to be. And so I eventually went to college, was on track for law school, and then kind of had a breakdown and moved to Nashville, and I had no idea what that meant. I just like,
so wait, where'd you come from?
I was born in Chicago, but then adopted and raised in Marengo, Illinois.
Ooh. Interesting.
Yeah. I told you it's a long story.
I'm
trying really hard to summarize.
This is a podcast. We got time.
Yeah, we're just talking.
Yes, okay.
I'm interested, if you weren't really allowed to listen to music or watch TV, like what was like some of the first people that made you like think like, oh, I want to do that?
So I started running at a really young age, and so in about 6th grade, 7th grade, I was going for a run, and I was right by. So we had a really long driveway, so I was about to turn into my house, and I saw the CD on the side of the road, and it was Maroon 5's Songs About Jane.
Yeah.
And this is like my favorite story because I got that CD and it was scratched, but it still worked.
Yeah.
And so when nobody was home, like I would play that.
Interesting.
And so I would perform to nobody, but I would perform and I would sing, and I loved that. That was like my like.
That's a good record.
That is a good record.
Yeah.
But that is the first like thing that I can think of that really like got me into the like mindset of like an artist.
That's
you know
awesome.
what I mean? Yeah, but that's
finding it on the street.
Right,
That's so cool.
Yeah, and to this day, it's still my favorite album. Yeah, but Wait, where were we?
No, I wanted to know, I want to know how you even got into stuff.
But also, I went to a small Lutheran school. Well, I was homeschooled first, and then I went to a Lutheran school, and so it was so small that we had to share the bus route with the public school.
Oh, okay.
And so I heard that music on the bus.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I wasn't
Yeah.
like completely like isolated from music. And then, you know, if I had go to my aunt's house or my grandma's, like they had TVs and they had computers.
Yeah.
So I got to see and experience it a little bit. It's just when I was home, we didn't have any of that.
So how did that like play out for you? Like as you got older, because like obviously you do the artistry, and like your parents, they're not keen on like
Not
music
into it.
and stuff. So
They're not into it.
They're not into it.
No, we don't talk about it. We actually just started speaking again recently. So when I moved to Nashville, it was like a downhill spiral with our relationship. And I'd say that was about 5 years ago. And we just now recently decided to try to like rebuild that relationship, but they just don't talk about the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like that unspoken. Like,
I feel that though.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of one of those things. A lot of parents do it. They're always. I think a lot of parents' concern is just like when they think music, it's like it's something where they're like, it's something that's shaky when they hear it. And I think it just takes like once you get that certain milestone or that certain achievement where they're kind of like, all right, we'll back off.
That's true. I feel like that's kind of that's been their MO.
Yeah, it's like, all right, we're cool. You do your thing. You're doing all right. Like,
exactly.
So you were gonna go to law school, and then you decided to move.
Well, I kind of had like a full breakdown because I was living a life that I wasn't really passionate about. And I had been that person for so long where I just kind of let people tell me who to be, how to be. And so that kind of caused me to just break down. And so I had a track and field scholarship, and I literally dropped out of school and like forfeited my scholarship. And I'm like, I'm just going to go to Nashville because that's Music City. That's, you know, I think this makes sense, but I had no idea what it meant to be an artist, what it meant to be a musician, a creative, any of that. And it took me a really long time to like admit to myself and to other people in the city that that's why I was here. And so I was here for about 2 years before I even tried.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, and it took me meeting somebody who believed in me. And I met him in Panera, which is like one of the most random like experience. And he's family now. His name's Mike Notchtigl, and he came up to me. Yeah, he's family. And he came up to me. He's like, "You look like you're an artist. Do you sing?" And I was like, yes. I'm like, I feel like that's what I'm supposed to say right now. And he's like, send me your stuff. And it was the most like universe moment I think I've ever experienced. And he's been in the industry for 25 plus years. And he's like, you have a lot of work to do, like a lot of development to do. But he's like, I want to help you. And so he introduced me to my friend and mentor, Taj George with SWV. And so she's been mentoring me since. And I would say during COVID is when I finally admitted to myself, like, this is what I want to do. This is what I've been passionate about, and I have to commit myself to that. And the experience that really, like, pushed me into that mindset was Taj actually pitched one of my songs to MTV, and they partnered me with Brandon Gomes of Siesta Keys, which is a reality TV show that isn't like that great, but what reality TV show is, you know what I mean? Like it's very reality TV. But they flew their cast out to Nashville. They filmed us in the studio. They filmed us performing, and then March 10th, 2020, so last year, they aired the episode. And I remember thinking, like, I wasn't ready for that because I didn't set myself up to be ready for that. Because I've been so afraid to do this for so long. And so I was like, I need to get to work. So that's where the rebranding came in.
Okay. I got some cool thing I heard you say I want to rebuttal off of. We're going to take a quick commercial break, y'all. I'm going to get right back to it.
just find out your track isn't what you thought it was? Don't worry. We got samples for that.
Hey, y'all, we're back with Shawney Rainne. I wanted to bounce off what you were saying with that story. That was such a Nashville story. So mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to bounce off that because that's a very important thing.
Yeah.
Like having mentors, it's a game changer.
Yes.
Because it's like, a lot of times, like people, we can be out here by ourselves. Sometimes we don't have that guidance, so we have to figure out a lot of those answers and things for ourselves. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I know I just tell you my story and stuff, but like, Joseph, I consider him one of my mentors. So like him piecing me together with you is kind of like, that's guidance in a sense where it's like, all right, that's keeping my success going too. Yeah. That's helping me out. That's putting me on the press because it's like, I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing. And now we're here on this beautiful platform connecting with each other.
Thing,
yeah. You know what I'm saying? All doing our thing.
It's amazing what one person to believe in you can change. Like, yeah. I mean, it's insane. Luckily, like, I had parents that like support whatever, but like, it's like for you, like just one person.
Well, that's what it took for me, and it honestly took a few years of that, and so we started writing together first, and we would write together almost every week. And I remember in a lot of those sessions, because I naturally am very shy. People are usually surprised by that, but it's how I was raised to be. And so
same, Like, naturally I'm shy.
And
I never would have thought I'd be on camera doing stuff.
Right. And it takes kind of a couple of steps to get to the point where you're like, okay, like I can do this, right? And so we'd be in these co-writes, and she has a big personality. And I remember I was very timid, and she would keep telling me, she's like, sing out. And I'm like, oh, I don't think I can.
Belt.
Right. And it took so many of those sessions before I was comfortable even with my voice, right? Just because I was just like so aware of her power, honestly, her power. Yeah. And it took years of just kind of her continuing to believe in me where I was still timid, I was still unsure of myself. And then finally at one point I was like, okay, you're still here. Yeah. And I had never had that before. And even with Mike, he's still here, and I kept seeing that consistency with people sticking around and without any alternative motives or like alternative intentions. And that's what triggered me to start believing in myself, because without that, I probably I'd still be wishing that I could find the confidence and courage to be an artist, you know what I mean? And I still struggle with that some days. I'm like, ooh, am I like, should I be doing this? You know what I mean? But that's all in my head. I think we all kind of do that. We all kind of like freak out and panic and have those moments where we like second guess ourselves, and we need those people that continue to show up for us, and that like they validate us, they reassure us, because we can't do it on our own.
Very and I mean, I feel like artists inherently are like always doubting themselves.
Sensitive. We're sensitive.
Like, you never know if what you're doing is cool.
Very
like,
sensitive.
We deal with that a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna drop any names here, but deal with that. Love you. I love you guys. I mean, dang, that's so cool. So I guess what I want to know now with the music, can we like, I feel like it's such a gray area, because you're telling me like the managers and stuff, how like how they're gonna re-release and stuff like that. Like, I mean, what is next though musically? Like,
so I have 2 songs that I'm working on right now. One song that I had actually released 2020 at some point, I think February or March. Right before the song Liar came out on MTV, and I ended up taking it down. The song was called Disease, because I got in my head and I was like, ooh, maybe this isn't that great. But it did really well on Spotify. So I'm like, I don't, you know what I mean? I'm just like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
But I just signed a management contract. And so we're actually going to be re-releasing that song because he's like, dude, this song's dope.
Yeah.
What? So we're going to be remixing it with a up and coming DJ, and I don't know if I'm allowed to drop names. That's why I'm like,
that's why I'm like, I'm being like,
I don't
want to
ask
more on it. I just don't want you to.
But it should be happening fairly soon. Like we sent him the stems. We're going to be working on a video in the next couple of weeks. And then I also have another song called "Feel You" that I liked that. Thank you. You listened to it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I sent it to you.
Yeah.
I don't see. That's why I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be talking about.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, yeah, that's it.
Well, that song I had already like scheduled to release because before I signed this contract, I was like, well, I want to put this song out. And so it's supposed to come out August 25th, but we actually pulled it because he's like, well, you have a team now. So let's like pump the brakes a little bit, make a plan, and then let's release it. So we're still going to put it out, just not on the 25th. Yeah.
Having a team.
That's good though. Great. That's I mean, that's great.
I saw that Wade in the Water video too.
Yeah.
I saw that was like a interesting take on that, kind of like a pop kind of rendition, sort of somewhere in there. Like what was the inspiration on that?
Honestly, I just wanted to contribute and kind of express what I was feeling during 2020 when, we were going through a lot with the BLM movement and just in general as a country. And I felt like on social media, your words are lost and misinterpreted and like misconstrued. And people are just so angry, and nobody's actually listening to each other. Yeah. And I felt like the best way to kind of express what I was feeling is through a video. And so I honestly didn't have a lot of vision behind it. The song just like popped in my head. Wade in the Water, I just started singing it. I was like, I want to do a video for this. And so I put it together in about like a week. And then I'm very impulsive. I'm very impulsive.
That's good though. And when you feel something and you're like, I got to do it.
Put it out there and I'm like, well, here it is.
Yeah.
So take it or leave it. And it had a really good response. People were very receptive of it. It also had some comments that I ended up deleting on YouTube. I'm like, I'm not even entertaining you.
Comments can be.
Yeah.
That's the best thing to do though, is just like delete, block.
Yeah.
You don't exist now.
Exactly.
To me.
Exactly. I don't need to waste my energy on it.
Don't need that negative energy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. I feel like we're bouncing around the place here. This has been such a smooth, like, conversation we've been having today. No, I wanted to bounce back to the we were talking about the Blended Fest earlier, right? Then we we didn't talk about that.
I don't know if we talked about it yet.
We didn't know,
but
we were telling because Dave wanted to hear it before.
We went from Wade in the Water to Blended
I know, right? We went from Wade in the Water to Blended Fest. But yeah, we know what I'm saying. We're just having a good time.
Yeah,
that's all it is. Yeah, just a cool little episode.
Yeah,
we're just.
I'm with it.
I call these new things community meetings. That's what these are.
I love that.
See, it's like just vibing with the community.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? See?
It's all about community.
Yeah.
It really is.
It really is.
Yeah, especially I'm noticing a lot more that like it seems like everyone's starting to know each other, even people who I don't think really knew each other before.
Yeah.
Like people are starting to know each other's names.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. I'm seeing the same faces. It shows a lot. It's cool. I
think so too.
It's definitely becoming more of like a community thing. Because like I was going to shows like 3 years ago and you didn't really see the same people around that much. Like it was very random. So like it's good to see that.
Do you think it's because of the type of shows you were going to?
No, like I was going to like hip hop shows and there was like it feels like there was less of a scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that, yes.
I feel like there's a scene happening right now.
I feel that too, and I feel like that's what's so like dope about this is we get to like kind of be a part of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a good time to be here.
Really,
it's a good time to be in the Nashville scene. There's a lot of creative. I mean, there's a lot of. I'm still off of that Scooter Braun energy right now too. Off that damn video. I was watching that Blueprint video, man. I'm feeling that because he was saying like, you know, a good thing he brought up in that. Gosh, we are bouncing around the place. This is fine though.
This is
fine.
ADD the podcast.
This is fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because this is rebuttaling off of what we're talking about right now. It's actually perfect. So, okay, so Scooter Braun was talking about your peers. Your peers are important because it's like when you go to certain executives, they always tell you the same thing. They're like, oh, yeah, like, let me plug you in my friend. I've known this guy for like 20 years, 40 years, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, the peers are the more important people you should really be working with because those are the people you grow with and those are the people you're going to know for like 20, 40 years. So it's like right now we're all kind of like each other's peers in this creative renaissance that's going on.
Yeah.
See, now y'all see where I'm going with it?
Yeah.
See where I'm going with it?
Yeah.
That's it?
Like, let me just slide this
You know
in
what
real
I'm saying?
quick so it makes sense.
So it's like, yeah, we're all growing together and we're creating something that's like historic here.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the beautiful thing about what's going on right now.
I feel that. I feel that energy.
Yeah.
Like, I really feel that.
Yeah.
See? So, yeah, coming together, working together, unison, harmony, togetherness. All these things.
Yes.
All these things, you know
We're
what I'm
with
saying?
you.
Yeah, that bring it together. And I feel like Nashville's in good hands at this point.
Yeah.
Like, all the things that are going on, I think about, like, throwing events, that's cool. That's bringing people together. That's like events and things like that. They're like these time capsules to me where it's like, all right, you have these places people come together and friendships are born from these.
Yeah.
Maybe new businesses, new song ideas. It's like all these things that are like going to like this collective consciousness of like the city.
That wouldn't have been possible.
Exactly.
Before.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's why I enjoy doing the podcast because it's like, you know, like what we're doing right now, coming on, having people kick it, like just seeing what's going on, like people's different perspectives of what the scene is. But I feel like as time's kind of been going on, like a lot of people are starting to say the same thing. We're hearing that even like if you go back to the intro episode, he's saying the same thing, like, yo, man, like Nashville is dope. Like, and it's like, it's getting to that point now where it's like, it literally probably is going to take like just one person now at this point. I feel like a lot of people are doing something creative, and I think there's an eye on the city, and I think it's going to take like that one thing.
I think so too.
Till it takes it to like the next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
So
Yeah, then it'll just be a flood. Just a floodgates open. Everyone's gonna want a Nashville artist after that. That's not
Right.
country.
That's not country.
That's gonna be. I can see the headlines like half a year from now, whatever. That's like, Nashville isn't just country music. It has this. It has that. It has.
And people are gonna be like, "What?" And
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
It's been like this for a minute.
coming soon. No, wait. No, but for real though, I did want to talk about that Blended Fest.
Okay.
I did want to talk about that though before we wrap up. No, Ludacris was there.
Yes.
Oof.
And
That's awesome.
Lil Jon DJ.
Luda.
Yeah. He had like a DJ set. He also like did his thing.
All right.
He performed.
So all right, we're ready for the story now. I just wanted to hear it because we had to save it.
Okay.
It just has to happen. All right. So you got brought in to promote the event. Okay. How did that happen?
So I organized Live on the Cumberland back in July.
Yeah.
And so we did kind of the same setup that we did for our showcases, but at Cumberland Park. And then we did an all-day festival. We started at noon, and then we went until we were supposed to end at 10, but we hit a lot of hiccups during the event. At one point, I remember thinking to myself, I'm never doing this again. Like, literally never. But I'm doing it again. But one of the promoters from Blended Fest was at the event promoting Blended Fest. And so he came up to me, and I remember just being, because I was so stressed out. There were so many things that weren't working out, but they were getting solved, but I was just like running in circles. I felt like, and so I remember him coming up to me, and he was just asking me like all these basic questions, like, are you the organizer? Like, you know, and I remember giving him a countdown in my head. I'm like, at one point I'm going to politely excuse myself because I really need to get back to the stage. You know what I mean? Because I was like, you know, and then he's like, well, how much would you charge to promote Blended Fest? And I'm like, wait, what?
I'll get back
And then
with you.
I was like, let's schedule a phone call, and he's like, tomorrow? And I was like, yes,
Yeah.
we'll talk tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so we chatted about what that, what the details were, what all that entailed. And yeah.
So he came up to your stuff, promoting his stuff.
Yeah.
Interesting. He came out on some like guerrilla marketing.
Exactly. Yeah. He was handing out flyers, and I remember seeing him and thinking like,
That's kind of
what's this guy doing? Yeah. What are you doing, dude?
Yeah. I'm like, you haven't paid to be here, but I'm gonna go.
Interesting.
But yeah, and we had a good turnout for Live on the Cumberland. It started off like really hot.
Yeah.
It was the hottest day of the year.
Oof.
And we started at noon. And one of the lessons I learned is if you are doing a festival in the South, maybe start a little bit later in the evening if you're like in the middle of the summer, because that's very unpredictable, and it was really hot.
Hot. It can get a little humid out here too. So.
Yeah, there was a heat advisory that day. Yeah.
But you did it.
Yeah,
It happened.
we made it.
Was there plenty of water?
Oh yeah.
All right.
I think I drank like 12 water bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
More than the daily limit.
struggling.
Yeah.
Well, I needed it.
Yeah.
I was just sweating it out.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I don't know. This has been great.
So-
yeah, I don't know.
So
What do you
Lil
say?
Jon?
Yeah, Lil Jon.
And Luda was there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
right.
Ludacris, they actually brought in like a week before the festival. So they had their lineup like already set. And then I think they decided to add Ludacris like really last minute. And his performance, in my opinion, was like the headliner of the
I was just about to
entire-
ask, was he the
He
headliner?
wasn't. He was a special guest.
Oh.
And so they only gave him 30 minutes to perform. And so he ended up going for a whole hour because
Wow.
he's like, I'm just going to keep going until somebody stops me.
Yeah.
And nobody stopped him because it's Ludacris.
Yeah, who's going to
And
stop
the
Who's gonna
staff,
stop Ludacris?
you just see all of these like staff just like walking on stage, like trying to get his
Yeah.
attention. He's just ignoring them, like he doesn't care.
Yo.
And then one dude goes up, and he's just like standing like right next to him, like trying to get him off the stage. And finally he ended, and he walked off saying, "Nobody gives Ludacris 30 minutes." And I was like,
That's so hard.
yeah.
Damn, that sounds
Goals.
legendary. Who else was there? What was it?
Cascade
yeah.
was there, which I've heard the name, but I don't know anything about Cascade.
Dope house producer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I
around
listened
for
to
a
some
minute.
of his stuff, but I was like, I don't actually like know you. Brandy Cyrus was there, DJing. Who else? Blanco Brown.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Those are the only names that I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're gonna be honest.
Ludacris definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Luda. That's
he brought the crowd.
Man.
He literally brought the crowd. Like they should have given him a lot more than
Yeah.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow.
Which he just took it. He's like, I'm gonna just stay up here until someone kicks me off the stage.
That's dope, man. We had a
No
little
one
bit
gives
of-
Luda
we had
30
some
minutes.
Atlanta,
So
I was
hard.
like, I wish I got that on camera because I was like,
Atlanta
dang.
legends coming out to Nashville, man, showing some love.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I mean, this has been great. I mean,
Yeah, it's
I
been
want to know.
fun.
So I guess before we wrap up here, what's coming next? Like more events, more songs. You said more releases.
Yeah,
Any
so
other
we-
side projects? Anything?
Well, we have our showcases every month. Usually they're the second Saturday of each month, but we had to move it because of Blended Fest. Our next big event is the Unapologetically Black Festival that we are co-organizing with Ether, the Beat Life, the Wedge Building,
I interned with Ether.
and the I Am
yeah.
Free Society. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So it's what we're trying to do is kind of highlight Black creatives and Black businesses in Music City. It's not like a strictly Black event because that's not what we're about. But we just want to kind of highlight that support in the community. And so we're gonna have about 60 vendors. We're gonna have we're putting a lot of work and a lot of love into this event, and we're gonna have about 40 different acts. So we have 2 stages.
How long is it gonna be going on?
So it starts at noon.
Yeah.
And it goes until 10, and then we have an after party at Flash Me Studio.
40 acts? Oh, I
yeah,
thought
so we have 2 stages.
Okay.
We have 2 stages.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have a small acoustic stage, and then we have a main stage.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm gonna be at that event.
Yeah,
see, that's
I
what
know.
Joseph. Oh, you knew that. Oh, okay. He was telling. Okay, that's all right. All right, now we go. There
So
we
I brought it up.
There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, yeah. I'll be doing some camera work there.
Yay! Okay.
We're on the.
Awesome.
He was. Yeah. Okay. There we
yeah, that's gonna be a pretty big event.
Brain for it there.
We're gonna be donating a percentage of the proceeds to the I Am Free Society, which is created by Brooklyn Tankard. So
Okay.
yeah,
Brooklyn
I'm really
Tankard,
excited
but
about
shout out.
that.
I'm sure maybe I'll meet.
Yeah, you'll meet her.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Oh, you'll definitely meet her.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a big part of the event.
Awesome.
So yeah.
That sounds dope.
Yeah,
You said EJ's gonna be there?
Yes, he is on our lineup.
Get ready for the rage.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Always
pretty
crazy.
good. Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
All
I
right.
haven't actually met him, but he's been at a lot of our events, and I'm pretty sure he was featured with Lord Goldie.
Yeah, he's performed with
Yeah.
Goldie quite a few times. Yeah.
So
That's how I found out about him.
Yeah.
same,
Goldie
same.
said, yeah.
And I was
Goldie
like,
said.
I need to book him.
Yeah.
Such a nice kid. You remember when he came up to us, man, that
Yeah.
night at home? He was like, hey, y'all, man, y'all was taking pictures? He was like, yeah, man. Nice to meet you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me follow y'all.
And then he just goes on. He's like, yeah. And we're like, oh, awesome. This kid's awesome.
Professional, but a rager at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
That's what he did last night. He was, I was like, yo, EJ, I was like, go crowd surf, man. I'm gonna get a picture of it. He's like performing. He's like, oh. And then he looks at me for a second. He's like, there ain't enough people in the crowd to crowd surf. And then he gets back to it. I'm like, all right, yeah, bro, that was
That'd be dangerous.
professional.
But he thought about it,
Yeah,
at
yeah.
least,
Very
That's what
professional.
matters.
Stop, took time, then he hops right back on the mic. So I'm like, cool guy. But yeah, all right, y'all. This has been a dope episode.
Yeah,
Shawney,
it's
I hope
been
you had
fun.
fun.
I did. Yeah, it was great.
Tom, you have fun today?
I had a great time.
Great time.
Yeah.
Look, y'all. All right, so we're gonna catch y'all on next week's episode of MC2MC. Once again, I'm your dude Superb,
Oh, Tom.
Shawney Rainne. We're gonna catch y'all next time. Peace.